Hi, everyone, and welcome to 647. It is May 6th, and this is your news burst. So we're going to start with the quote of the day, and it's from Stone Cold Killer Stephen Miller. Here we go. The right of due process is to protect citizens from their government, not to protect foreign trespassers from removal. Somehow our judiciary doesn't understand this. All right, 6 stories. Let's go. Here's our first one. Man, we're back to Newark Airport. Can't believe this is even happening. Primary air traffic control comms line and backup went down last week for 90 seconds. What's that mean? It means that the air traffic controllers in the tower, actually in Philadelphia, controls the airspace over Newark, lost all radar contact, all radio contact for 90 seconds. So think about that. Incoming, outgoing, taxiing planes on the ground, 90 seconds. And if you've ever driven on the New Jersey Turnpike, you drive right next to Newark, and you see planes stacked up as far as you can see out to the horizon, right? They're landing every minute. 90 seconds, no radar, no radio contact. That means everybody in every plane coming in, taking off on the ground, all those pilots had to handle it themselves. That's a recipe for disaster, okay? And what's caused it? It's caused, over the years, so much overwork for the air traffic controllers that 20% of them took a leave of absence in protest because the situation was not safe. So the director of transportation, Sean Duffy, is going to unveil a plan to fix all this on Thursday. It's a multi-billion-dollar overhaul for Newark and the Philadelphia facility, and Congress will have to approve it. And until all that happens, stay away from that airport. It is not safe. I don't care what they say. All right. Here's an important news story for you. This is number 2. This is from the Journal of American Medicine Pediatrics. Yesterday published a study about smoking marijuana during pregnancy. Many pregnant women believe that cannabis is natural and therefore harmless. Newsflash. Use of marijuana during pregnancy resulted in, according to this study, which looked at 21 million people, 52% had a higher risk of preterm delivery. 75% had lower birth rate, averaging 5.5 pounds. Marijuana also affects infant lung development, decreased blood flow and oxygen availability to the placenta. That's how the infant's living and breathing in the womb, and results in increased risk of infant death before or immediately after delivery. And here's the biggest thing about this study. There is currently no public health information about this issue. So women are thinking they're doing something harmless, they're doing something incredibly harmful, and this is just the first study. We don't know how much we're going to find out. But I think there's a lot of women out there that can't drink when they're pregnant, they can't smoke cigarettes when they're pregnant, they can't do a lot of things, so they think they can smoke pot. No. All right, so spread the word on that, because the medical establishment is confused. The doctors who are working with these pregnant women are confused. So we need to get the word out until the medical establishment catches up. All right, story number 3. New threat from AI. It's called AI phishing. So AI is being used to clone your voice. When you answer the phone, when you leave a voicemail, when members of your family respond to phone calls or leave voicemails, AI is picking that up and imitating it. So, what do criminals do with that? They use those AI cloning recordings of your family's voice to create emergency situations. And you think you have someone from your family calling you needing money or needing security information or financial information. So, hate to say it, but this is another thing you have to think about. If you get a call from somebody in your family and they say, I need money, and you're sure it's that person because you recognize the voice, but the thing they're asking for is unusual, you need to ask that person a family question, something about your family history, because AI can't respond to that. Okay. And that's the only way you're going to know if you're being fooled or not. So, who are they going to go after for this? They're going to go after the grandparents, the older people, right? Because they're not so hip to all this technology. And they'll absolutely believe when they hear a voice and they want to help, and they're going to get taken. Okay, so the family history question is right now the only way that you can beat this current criminal endeavor. All right, so let's pay attention to that. All right, let's go to the DC news. Probably the top story is that Trump is offering illegals $1,000 and a plane ticket to leave voluntarily. Sounds like a money-saving way to handle this, because all the arrest and incarceration and lawfare and everything, we need to incentivize a lot of these people to leave the nice way before they leave the hard way. All right, so that's a good idea. Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense, is cutting the number of generals and flag officers by 20%. That's a great move. Too much administrative fat at the top, the org chart. And that's the same thing for education and all kinds of businesses and agencies. 15,000 employees of the U.S. Department of Agriculture have taken a buyout or resigned or taken early retirement. That's what we want to hear. And then Trump's new NIH director, National Institute of Health, is Jay Bhattacharya. He was deemed a villain by the Biden administration for telling the truth about too many things during COVID. And so now he's in a power position as the director of the NIH, and that's a great thing. And he has ended all NIH experimentation on dogs and closed all the dog labs where thousands of dogs since 1986 have been killed, testing drugs on them, and for whatever reason, principally beagles. So Bhattacharya is showing that he's on the case, and that's over with. So dog lovers, that's a win for you. Also, Trump is deputizing all local law enforcement across the country to carry out immigration enforcement. This was a law that was on the books but wasn't used. So now, compared to the Biden administration, he has increased these memorandums of understanding with local police departments by 316% and climbing. So this is all great. And then also from DC, last night, Linda McMahon, the Secretary for Education, wrote a letter and sent it to Harvard saying it's no longer eligible for federal grants until it makes significant changes to its management. Translated, knock it off with the woke America Last agenda, or you're not going to see any more money. So that's all great performance from Linda McMahon from DC. All these folks are moving things in the right direction. And so that's a great number 4 for today. Number 5, I don't know how to even classify this, but Mike Pence, the vice president under Trump in 2016, he received the JFK Profile in Courage Award yesterday. And he got this award for not sending the questionable electoral votes from the 2020 election back to the states to have them scrutinize it. That's all that was asked for. And he has the right as vice president to do it. And he said, no, we're not going to send it back. We're not going to ask any questions about this election, even though Trump was winning it in a landslide until about 3 o'clock in the morning. And then miraculously, millions of votes showed up, 99% of them for Joe Biden. And nobody thinks that's suspicious. Well, guess what? Trump's got all the receipts for that. It's all going to come out. And that is completely, that stolen election is what caused the J6 situation. And Nancy Pelosi used it, right, to create the Fedsurrection. And Mike Pence was the patsy puppet for the Democrats. And so he receives the JFK Profile in Courage Award with 2 great quotes. Our institutions held that day, right? And he goes, it became a triumph of freedom. Okay, this guy, what a shame. What a shame. That's all I can say. All right, final story this morning. What's going on in Wisconsin? It's not going to be a political story. All right. 17-year-old Nikita Kassev. He went online with neo-Nazi white supremacists in Russia regarding his desire to kill Trump. I don't know why a 17-year-old wants to kill Trump, but people have problems, right? And the internet is there to make them worse. So this will be confusing for the legacy media as they think that white supremacists love Trump, and here's a whole group planning an assassination attempt. So Nikita was advised by his new digital friends in Russia to kill his parents to get the money to buy a drone and explosives, and that would be the way that he could kill Trump. So Nikita's pulled over in Kansas, driving his father's car, and his parents are found dead in their home, and it's just, the whole thing's awful. So again, man, watch your kids, watch what they're doing, watch crazy behavior, and act on it. So on a happier note, and also from Wisconsin, a woman missing since 1962 has been found alive. Audrey Backeberg, now 82 years old, was married at 15 and had 2 kids with a wife beater who threatened to kill her. She was working in a factory and walked away on payday at age 20 and caught a bus to Indianapolis, and from there disappeared for 63 years. And a cold case detective working on this case, of course, they all thought that the husband killed her. He finds her. He won't disclose where he found her, but he had a 45-minute conversation with her, and he describes her as very happy about her choices and that she had a great life, and she's still having a great life. And so, you know what? You can't figure out people's situations for them. They have to make the best choices they can. This was Audrey's best choice, and I say, go, Audrey. All right, thank you very much for joining us at 647. Please like us. Please share us. Have a great day at work, and God bless you.
want the truth, don't close your eyes.